Hey everybody, it's time for maybe the end of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Resolve 2. Featuring Sonic and Knuckles.
With Dante from Devil May Cry?
Possible. Boom.
What do you mean possible? Is he here or not?
Maybe he's here, but he's just like one of those like faded out people in the gallery, so we can't actually see him. Who's to say Dante
We can't
isn't
tell.
here? It's
We
not
can't tell it's him.
This is a Capcom game. It's not impossible. Unlikely, perhaps. I just gave you both pronouns. That's not it.
I'm not a she, it. I'm a he, him. Okay. Mine does not make a funny sound if you put them together.
Him.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a funny
sound.
Of a funny sound. If you put a little Irish on it. Hold on. I gotta turn down my Spotify. I had to reinstall Spotify because like the desktop app just refused to sync my liked playlists one day. I like added like 20 songs or something because it was like a New Music Friday or something, and I added the entire Lady Gaga album to my liked playlist, and then I logged on to my computer. I opened the app, and it's like, nah, fuck you.
What if
so I had to reinstall the app, and now all my settings are jacked. Very annoying. One of many reasons to hate Spotify. So I buy CDs again. Was there a start to this sentence, or are we just jumping in here? I forgot where we left off.
Very well then. They were finally about to read the third page of the document because we were like, nothing here is incriminating, so there must be more. And then Caden was like, yeah, there was a whole third page.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I've got the third one. Yeah, I've got it right here. Very well then, Governor Caden. You will read the third page of the document for all present to hear. Yes, sir. Wait, hold on. How do I... Scottish. I cannot actually read the Werem language. There we go. Okay, I'm getting it. The Werem language.
Who?
Who would call him Barry?
I don't know. This beautiful... I'm gonna guess J. Jonah Jameson, and then we'll see. This beautiful handwriting. Shame on you, Barry. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Okay, I like how he fucking poured it in.
If I could be of assistance here, I would be happy to translate the words into English for the court.
Father? You're still here, are you, Dr. Mikatova?
Naturally, I consider myself a member of the judiciary, albeit a lowly one. But perhaps I should quietly withdraw after I've translated Genshin's message.
Your cooperation is much appreciated.
I feel like Strongheart is like just barely keeping himself from throwing shit at people at this point.
Huh.
Cosma, the truth is shrouded in darkness, a darkness only our clan's great sword can pierce. Mighty Karma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes.
Literally gotta twist that, yeah.
That's the end of the message, it would seem. A haiku poem. Twist thy head.
Father? Is Karma?
The name... Nope.
The name of the Asagi clan's famous sword. A razor-sharp blade known to all. A dramatic... all. Everyone knows of this sword. Passed down for generations. It embodies the Japanese spirit. It's not known to me.
It's the katana sword that was submitted as evidence earlier in these proceedings. The one worn by the prosecution counsel when he confronted Inspector Gregson. The details of the Asagi papers have been updated in the court record.
All these procrastinations are beginning to try my patience. Adjournment of this court is long overdue. As a presiding judge, I I've been as accommodating as possible of the will of the courtroom. However, despite all that, no new information has come to light. Ugh. In pursuit of justice, Lord Clint Van Zeeks tragically lost all sense of morality. When he murdered his former mentor, he was already devoid of his normal faculties.
Objection!
How dare you! I refuse to believe that of my brother. Too much time has passed. We cannot ever hope to know more than we do now.
Wow. I mean, thanks? Hi, Mall Guy.
Pejorative.
What? Wow.
Especially since...
Wow. I don't know how to read that.
Especially since the alleged will that he penned in his final moments appears to have been lost forever. Ugh. Blech.
Lord Strongheart, you appear to be in something of a hurry to wrap things up. I wonder why. None of your fucking business, that's why.
I've got this thing about clocks.
We've heard you say time and again during these proceedings that everything you did was in the interests of protecting British law and order.
And I stand by that. Also, hi, Molly. Neutral. Without the Reaper, we could never have achieved the reduction in crime the capital has seen.
Objection! What about Inspector Gregson, then?
And Dr. Wilson. They were no criminals. Use them to achieve your ends, and then you had them killed.
However you dress it up, there was nothing fair or just about that. Lord Strongheart, what exactly is it that you're hiding?
Dr. Mikatoba. Were you not to quietly withdraw after the translation of your former associate's will? Will this be the end? We're hoping.
We're hoping. It feels like
there's truly no way to know, though. In this courtroom, no argument carries weight unless it's supported by evidence. It would seem that the defense has no more evidence to present. In which case, I hereby order all discourse from these proceedings to be struck from the record.
Object, dumbass. This is my last chance.
Do I object? You know it's gonna be some shit like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Narhado.
I have to present some decisive evidence now, or it's all over. But can I? Yes.
Yes. It lacks the necessary surface space. You know what, Mulguy? I don't think they, you know what? I don't think they think about it.
Wait, my lord. As it happens, the defense does have evidence to present.
What? Don't be absurd. There is nothing of relevance remaining from that time. Objection! It's high time that you realize something, my lord.
That open mouth, like, eh.
This gentleman has an uncanny habit of producing evidence at the final hour that had escaped everybody else's attention.
He looks so fucking dumbfounded.
What is it, Ryunosuke? What do you have?
Actually, it's more about what
but
you
I was
have.
lying.
I dare say the final decisive piece of evidence that will reveal the whole truth about this rotten tale.
Why did they make Van Zeeks and Strongheart so sexy and then not have them kiss? Well, Steven, thoughts?
I don't know. Well, at least one of them is racist, so there's that.
Racists can kiss. They shouldn't.
I don't have
to.
I don't have to derive joy from it if they do.
No one said you were deriving joy. When did your joy come up here? I'm merely asking your opinion of why they don't kiss. Mologai wants to know.
Capcom is cowards.
Capcom is cowards. That's what I was hunting for, I'll be honest. How can you... Decisive?
Well, it would appear there's no escaping it now, my lord.
Let it be so then. Present whatever you think you have that can settle this decade-old enigma, if you're capable.
Oh.
What exactly is this evidence that the defense claims to be so decisive? It's gotta be karma.
It's gotta be karma.
Right?
I'm wondering if we need to inspect it first. I'll check.
Yeah, twist the head.
Mighty karma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. That's the proper way to use the sword, is it? Maybe I should try it. It hurts my neck, that's the trouble.
Mr. Naruto, if I might make a suggestion. I think perhaps it doesn't mean your head.
Naruto attempting to snap his own neck. Oh.
I once studied the history and development of the katana some time ago.
Why?
Because of course I did. It was nestled between my chapters about window tax. And as I'm sure you're probably aware, the sword's head is the part at the very end of the hilt. Hey, sheep. Mologai, I agree with you. But I'm not reading that out loud.
Yeah,
it's written as head in Japanese, but it's pronounced as Kashira, I believe.
Kashira. So Mr. Asagi's words really mean twist the butt of the hilt. You don't think.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah!
There it is. Ah!
Look what's inside it.
We just got a letter. Is that a tightly wound sheet of parchment?
Scarlet ink! It's written in scarlet ink! I pen this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. This is it, isn't it?
Mr. Naruto, look at the signature at the end.
Clint Van Zeeks. And the date, 10 years ago on that fateful night.
So for 10 years, it's been silently concealed inside Karma, and nobody knew. The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks.
Wait. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Clint Van Zeeks' will has been entered into the court record. Well, the good news. We found it.
The decisive evidence is ours.
Take that!
We weren't. Did we not read it?
No, we could.
Were we not
there
able
was
to
no
read it?
examine.
No examine button. Gotcha.
There's a single piece of evidence that can clarify what really
Roger
happened
that.
10 years ago.
The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Ha! A wonderfully astute observation, I'm sure. But in case it has escaped your notice, that document was lost long ago.
That's right, it was. Only... I have it right here. Discovered just moments ago. Everybody like, what the fuck?
Oh. But no, you can't. Impossible! That can't be.
Everything that's happened comes back to this will. This document is the key that will unlock the entire mystery. Ooh. He's starting to look affected.
Wah! My brother's last will and testament. Where did you find that?
It was rolled up inside this.
Inside Karma?
He looks baffled. That ultimate weapon Genshin Asagi obtained has lain undisturbed in the hilt of this sword all these years, just waiting for the right time to emerge and reveal the truth. The signature and seal certainly look official.
My God, it's true. It's my brother's handwriting. There can be no mistake. I forbid the contents of that document for being read out. Do you hear me? I strictly forbid it.
Objection! You can't do that, my lord. This document could explain everything.
That document could literally destroy the meaning of justice in this country. I demand that you hand it to me. At once.
Why? What are you trying to hide? Could it be that you already know what's written on this page?
What are you implying? Court is adjourned with immediate effect. Clear the courtroom.
Objection! Yeah.
Do that, my lord. And you'll suffer a fatal blow as Lord Chief Justice. I beg your pardon. Forcibly ending a trial without good reason. And not any trial. A closed trial by order of Her Majesty the Queen. To defy the monarch's will is treason.
Ooh. Brother is panting with his whole body. Lord Clint Van Zix really did pen a will that day. It's exactly as the young Japanese man said. Read it out, now! We have a right to hear what's in that will. A right and a duty. Well, well, my lord. It would rather appear as though proceedings aren't going to go quite as you'd hoped.
You fools! Go ahead, Ryunosuke. Read it. The prosecution gives its full support.
Very well, then.
Oh, for God's sake!
He is tweaking a little bit. Go!
No!
He's shaking. His brother is broken. I pen this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. I should probably give this the count, huh? The hour is 11 p.m. and I sit at my writing desk in my office. My good friend Asogi stands at my shoulder. He has expressed his intent to invoke the dying ritual of the duel, that I may depart this world with honor. An honor of which I am utterly undeserving. The Japanese are a truly merciful people. I, Clint Van Zix, Lord of the Manor of the Van Zix Estate, hereby confess to the following. I am the killer who has come to be known in society as the Professor, guilty of 4 counts of murder. I will not hear discourse.
What was it?
The corruption rife among the... let me just try this whole ass sentence again. I will not hear discourse the corruption rife among the aristocracy, which is to me as one of them, so apparent.
They're like, oh, it's the most prolific serial kill we've ever had, and it was 4?
Yeah, I don't know, man. However, 6 months ago, I took the life of a member of the House of Lords at the heart of the depravity. A demon who habitually sacrificed the common man to further his own interests, abusing his position of power. The law is impotent against such vile avarice. Only a fellow demon can rid society of this menace. That demon was my quarry, upon whom I willingly set my great hound. But though I am a hunter of some experience, I am a poor felon, it seems. My guilt was at once recognized by another, and I became subject to his extortion. He held over me the threat of exposing my wicked crime to my beloved wife and brother. Under that threat, I have done this man's bidding for months now, killing those he demanded I kill. As I watched my former mentor perish before my eyes at the jaws of the hound I commanded, I realized that I had lost the last shred of decency within me, and sunk to the level of a wild beast. There is no path back to the light. Be it I or my dear friend Asogi who dies this night, I am eternally damned. To my extortioner, male Strongheart, may you feel the jaws of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. Damn. That's some cold shit. So now we know. Yes, Clint Van Zieks was a murderer, but somebody was directing him and naming his victims. His extortioner, Lord Male Strongheart. It was you! Lord Strongheart, a moment ago, you claimed that what the court has just heard could destroy justice in this country. But you weren't trying to protect justice at all. All you were trying to do was conceal the secret of your true nature and the countless lives you sacrificed up till now.
Just did it make sense to me. That the third victim, the former Lord Chief Justice, was my brother's benefactor, and a man of lofty principles. As I said, Clint had no possible reason to kill that man. But you did, didn't you, Lord Strongheart? To eliminate the man who stood between you and the office you had set your sights on. So you used your own hunting dog, Lord Clint Van Zieks, to take him down. It had to be done. Lind's unsavory shadows are deep, and the arm of the law fails to reach their depths. Crime must be cut off at the roots. But the Lord Chief Justice of the time couldn't see that. He was weak. Lofty principles, you say? Tantamount to cowardice, if you ask me. Which is why I took his place. In order to fight the crime he was allowing to spread like wildfire. By murdering... Wait. By murdering the man, boy, vampire. The Reaper, the Professor. The name makes no difference. As I've explained countless times already, it was all done for the furtherance of law and order in London. Are you going to legitimize the murder of my father now, too?
Perhaps.
Kenshin Asagi. Well, that was unfortunate. I had fully intended to send him back to Japan as we'd agreed. I don't believe you! It was you, wasn't it? You killed him. No, it wasn't me who took your father's life.
Then who?
On the night following his mock execution, I went to Logate Cemetery at 3 in the morning with Jigoku.
Judge Jigoku?
There had to be a collaborator on the Japanese side to manage Asagi's treatment after his repatriation. Jigoku had fierce ambition. It made him easy to manipulate. 10 years ago, after he'd stood trial for the destruction of the witness stand, I had words with him. When I told him the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs could be his, he couldn't agree fast enough.
Seishiro, you fool.
As you know, Asagi escaped the prison in a closed casket and was subsequently interred. We intended to dig him out of his grave before he ran out of air. But sadly, all did not go to plan.
Ah! I think you were actually Trevor, but I just went, you know what.
Oh, right.
I think this is still him.
There was an unexpected... There was an unexpected visitor to the cemetery with his own ideas about digging up graves. A man who'd witnessed what nobody was supposed to see.
Enoch Drebber.
Of course, I knew grave robbers frequented London's cemeteries. But that grave on that particular night... If people found out the convict wasn't really executed, the scandal will rock the very foundations of the empire.
I think this is Jigoku? Because they were both there, he said.
Then what do we do? Shoot him, Mr. Jigoku. Shoot Asagi at once. He can't live now that this has happened. He has to go. What are you talking about? You had an agreement. You promised him he could return to Japan. Everything has changed now. If the truth got out because of this, both of us would be finished forever. Come on, Jigoku. Do it. Pull the trigger. Shoot.
Bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Jigoku shot Asagi from the shadows. The grave robber was so close, the blood sprayed over his coat. He fled as fast as his legs would carry him. Then Jigoku and I put Asagi's body back in the grave from which he'd just emerged. When I later learnt of the waxwork modeler's presence at the scene as well, I made her swear to two things. Never to remove the professor's mask, and never to speak of the events of that night. And with that, the secret was buried along with Asagi's corpse. So, now you know what really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night.
Conveniently, he never technically got his hands dirty in all of this.
It was Shikoku, your Japanese acquaintance, who killed Asagi in the end, you see. He claimed to be the man's friend, but when push came to shove, he pulled the trigger.
Just before Mr. Jigoku left the courtroom earlier, he said that the assassin exchange proposal was a demand from his British counterpart, not a request.
So, you coerced him too? Using what happened in the graveyard. At that time, Jigoku was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, negotiating international treaties with Britain. You can imagine what would have happened if it came to light he'd murdered a compatriot 10 years earlier. He would have lost everything. I merely reminded him of that. How do you sleep at night?
On a pillow made of tears.
In a bed? What about you? These past 10 years, I fought tirelessly with the darker recesses of London's criminal underworld. and I've used whatever means necessary to ensure that justice prevails and law and order reign supreme.
Objection. That couldn't be further from the truth. The fact is, you haven't fought crime at all.
How dare you! I saved Van Zieks from dishonor and his death. Objection. Whilst behind the scenes, you systemically buried anyone who stood in your way. And then you made my father take the blame. It was unavoidable. It was the only way to protect our justice system and public order. Let's not forget the others you had killed as well. Setting the defendant up as the Reaper to cover up the truth behind the murders of countless more. That's enough! Do you have any idea of the conniving that led to the acquittals of those wretched criminals? You ought to fight fire with fire. Our courts can't function without the Reaper. Can't you see all I've done for this country? This has been my struggle.
No other objection.
Objection! You've done nothing. It's Lord Van Zieks who worked tirelessly and justly in court, while enduring the disgrace of the Reaper name. Oh.
And Inspector Gregson, fraught with anguish for having sullied his hands through a desire to do the right thing. Not to mention Genshin Asagi, who risked his life going in pursuit of the truth you tried to hide. No, the darker recesses of London's underworld were largely filled by you. Ooh.
You little. When will you get it through, you thick skull? That it was all for Queen and country, I'm tiring of that excuse. You've consistently twisted the truth for bargaining power to make others do your bidding. Nothing more.
People who will willingly twist the truth and coerce others have no right to call themselves part of the judiciary. I strongly suggest you don't ever talk of justice again.
Ah!
He just
We
looks
came with
fucking
the Michael Jackson
he's
pose.
like, ugh. Oh no, not the not the Citizen Kane.
Well, well, well. Dear me, my good fellows. Dear me. A well-deserved round of applause, I think, for a quite marvelous performance.
What are you talking about?
Those delightfully grave expressions, that beautifully pronounced Queen's English. Really, our friends from the Far East are quite the picture of industriousness. You fraud. Keep your mockery. Please don't misunderstand. It really is exactly as you've both said. What are you trying to say? I have occupied the darker recesses of London's underworld. And how do you put it? Done nothing? I confess it's a little embarrassing to have pointed it out quite so starkly, but yes! I really have done nothing. Which means I can be indicted for nothing. No?
What?
Ugh. It's true. Personally, I have committed no crime. And we haven't invented conspiracy to commit yet. I've merely been surrounded by fools who've acted very rashly indeed.
Objection. You can't get away with that. You've consistently preyed on people's weaknesses.
And what? Threaten them? Are you sure it wasn't just bargaining? I would like to address all the good lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the judiciary here present. You all know of these darker recesses in our great capital, and deep down, I believe you also know that to fight those who dwell there requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. So let me appeal to your good sense now. Consider the situation with me. In this catalog of horrifying revelations, were to become common knowledge among the 6 million inhabitants of London, what might happen? To learn that the infamous murderer of royals and the nobles was a respected member of the aristocracy himself. Well, that evidence was fabricated in the scapegoat's trial amid secret negotiations with prosecutors to effect a jailbreak. That the Reaper of the Bailey was an organized group of assassins managed by a Scotland Yard inspector. And finally, that it was all masterminded by the Lord Chief Justice himself. If the general public of Britain knew the truth, all faith in the police, the prosecutor's office, would be lost completely, without doubt. Public order in the capital would completely break down. We'd be cast back to the lawless days of the last century. Would you?
Huh?
Precisely. As it was 100 years ago, when 1 in 10 of the population were criminals.
What? Excuse me? That statistic can't be true.
How would you even know? What did you just like interview him?
Did you ask?
Sir, are you a criminal? Ma'am, are you listen, buddy, are you a criminal?
You got a license to be a criminal?
No. You got we gave out criminal licenses and we sold, 1/10 of the population's worth, so we know how many criminals there are. Think what we've accomplished since then. A public policing force, a comprehensive set of laws.
Well,
and we want to continue to protect this new era of law and order. I say again, we must at times occupy the darkness ourselves.
somebody say it's horseshit, please.
We have successfully identified and apprehended the man responsible for taking Inspector Gregson's life. And that is all that was expected of this trial. All these other matters that have been discussed will be eliminated from the minutes of these proceedings in the interest of preserving law and order. And to protect Her Majesty the Queen, of course. Well, my lords and ladies, ladies and gentlemen, what say you? No Oxford comma.
He has a point. The things Lord Strongheart has done are quite unforgivable. But on the other hand, isn't it our duty to maintain law and order in the capital? You can't deny that the threat of the Reaper over the years has done wonders for the crime rate. And by fair means or foul, that's all thanks to Lord Strongheart. People have got to be fucking kidding me. Strongheart. Are you hearing this?
This is the will of the British judiciary? Whereas in response, friends, I express my heartfelt gratitude. For, in accordance with these overwhelming wishes of the court, the records shall be erased.
You have to respect the man's ability to turn a situation in his favor. Lord Strongheart really is a master of manipulation.
You've conclusively proven his guilt. Yet still he manages to evade justice. I just don't know what we can do. Ryunosuke.
It looks like the trial really is going to come to an end now. I'm almost out of options, I think. There's really only one path left open to me. I'm gonna say use evidence and we pull the Brabadiers. We pull in Holmes. He can help us, right? Probably. Probably.
Right?
I think so.
Imagine.
Yes, as I know only too well, the only thing that carries any weight in court is hard evidence.
But Mr. Naruto, what evidence is there to use at this stage in the trial?
I have an idea. I don't know whether anything will come of it, but if there was ever a time for using this particular item we have among the evidence, it's now.
It's gotta be the rabbit, otherwise they would have taken it away from us.
Right?
And this surely counts as a dead end.
Yeah, like...
Oh my!
There could not be a more dead end.
Oh my, yes! Mr. Sholmes asked if you had that with you earlier.
We've exposed all of Lord Strongheart's wrongdoing now. I've no doubt that Mr. Sholmes had already deduced exactly how the truth would unfurl. So I think it must be time for the great detective to take center stage, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. Let's take the hair by the ears then, and heave!
Alright, here goes. Heave! Ow, 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 ow! My dear fellows, must I remind you every time, a gentle tug will suffice. Mr. Sholmes, you're looking in quite the wrong direction, Mr. Naruto, because I'm over here.
Ha! Mr. Naruto, he's...
What the fuck? It's Mr. Sholmes. What the fuck?
He's a hologram. Of course he is.
I wasn't expecting you back, Sholmes. Delighted to be here again, Lord Strongheart.
What is the meaning of this? By what devilry are you here? Bailiff, seize him! Put that man in irons! This is a closed court. You've been warned once already, man. Whoa!
What the? I can't get hold of him, me lord.
He's not really, is it?
We just go right through him. He's just doing a little dance.
Why awful? He's hitting us with the granny, my lord. My lord! He's
I'm afraid your
emoting on
efforts
us.
are wasted. You see,
Why is he in with
the
the
great
full-ass
detective you see
Macarena? What's
before
going
him is
on right
comprised
now?
entirely of light and
Why is he
shadow.
doing a little hip shake?
I don't
This
know.
is insane.
An image, if you
I'm
will.
losing my mind.
Ah!
How is he doing this?
Mr. Naruto, I must congratulate
Remember
you on your
when-
fine deductions.
Remember when electrokinesis was like, oh, that couldn't be real. Like, you can't send someone through space. And now they're just like, yeah,
Holograms.
entirely functional hologram in the year 1900.
Mr. Sholmes, what on earth is... Are you familiar, I wonder, with the invention known as the telephone? Well, yes. I hear that some public telephones have been installed recently in Tokyo.
The sound of the speaker's voice is converted to an electrical signal and transmitted instantly to another place.
Quite. Sounds are transmitted, so could not images keep them company, I mused. Iris and I did some modest experimentation to develop such a device specifically for this very day.
Modest experimentation, Mr. Sholmes. What a modest description.
You have no idea how many times it exploded in my face. And somewhat incidentally, I thought we might just as well transmit an entire scene. Somewhat incidentally, Mr. Sholmes, now you're just being immodest.
That's you.
It sure is. Do you mean to say you're not actually here, Sholmes? Ah, I knew my trusty partner would have no trouble grasping the concept. Except he's grasping the stand to steady himself after your shock arrival.
Poor father. I would have hoped he might be forewarned, being the great detective's great partner. Leave my courtroom at once! Get out, or I swear to you!
Dear me, you, on the other hand, Lord Strongheart, appear to have a very poor grasp of the situation. Allow me to reiterate, I am not here, which would, I hope, lead naturally to one asking.
Where exactly are you?
The very question I was awaiting. I'm at present enjoying the air in a rather splendid garden. A garden?
Is it of the Queen?
Not just any garden, you understand. A garden at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. What? You can't be. Buckingham Palace?
What's Buckingham Palace, Mr. Zato? I've never heard of it. You've lived in London for a year.
Do you ever read the news, Mr. Narhado?
Mr. Sholmes? Is Iris with you there? Ah, well now. Iris is currently enjoying some tea. With Her Majesty. Her Majesty? Not just any Her Majesty, you understand. Her Majesty, the Queen of the British Empire. What on earth is all this about?
Buckingham Palace is Her Majesty the Queen's residence in London, Mr. Narhado. Order! Order in court! I demand immediate silence! Her Majesty the Queen? You can't be. I mean, no. This is some sort of unforgivably distasteful trickery by a third-rate detective, that's all.
Unforgivably distasteful trickery? What an apt description. A closed court session attended by elite members of the judiciary is a rare event. I presume that Her Majesty would be more than a little curious about the proceedings. So I decided to show her everything, from start to finish. Huh? You showed her? Indeed. By dint of Herlock Sholmes' remote cinematograph. That's a hard word to say. It's also made up.
Cinematograph?
Cinematograph. That sounds correct to me. He looks fucking utterly baffled.
This is some kind of nightmare.
Just as I appear to be standing before you, regaling you with talk of my latest invention. No doubt you've inferred that the reverse is also true.
You don't mean...
Her Majesty has seen and heard every moment of the proceedings. I assume there would be no objection. After all, every trial in this country is conducted under the auspices of Her Majesty, as you know.
You!
I confess I am quite impatient to hear Her Majesty's opinion about the unforgivably distasteful trickery in which you've been engaged over the past 10 years.
No! I was merely...
Oh, so sorry to keep you all waiting. Vicky and I had so much to talk about. Imagine referring to the Queen as Vicky. I guess she's 10. The
Queen
Queen's
Victoria
probably cool with
Vicky.
it. She's like, oh,
She's
what a
10, but
delightful
a million
child.
billion years old. Iris, there you are.
In fact, I have a little message here from Her Majesty. We weren't allowed to get her image for this video game.
We could not, in fact, put Queen Victoria in the game. Message.
Well then, if everyone is sitting comfortably, ahem. Forthwith and with immediate effect, all authority previously afforded to male Strongheart is hereby revoked forevermore. Furthermore, he will be prosecuted for crimes against his country in a public trial by jury in the coming days.
So, it seems that Her Majesty doesn't believe we need to fight fire with fire. Justice in this country need be administered from the shadows and all.
Male Strongheart. The darkness you fostered to conceal your despicable actions these last 10 years is a thing of the past now. After today, your brand of law and order has no future, because no longer are you the Lord Chief Justice. In the eyes of the law and of Her Majesty the Queen, you are nothing but a criminal.
Adjourned! 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 Court is adjourned!
Holy shit. Whoa, shit!
Buh. Fucking ragdoll, dude.
I was half expecting that to break. Oh god, it is!
Oh no, the fire! The old Bailey! It's on fire again!
Oh no! It's still going! Wow, it's a good thing he wasn't still there. Oh god, no!
Oh. Ah!
Holy shit!
That was insane.
That was really fucking cool, though. Jesus!
Lord Clint Van Six of the will, in which he confessed to everything. When those words came out of Asagi's mouth, it deranged me completely. I knew I must do everything and anything in my power to contain the situation. But I couldn't find the damned document. I searched his cell, but it wasn't there.
Which precipitated the jailbreak plot, I presume. What do you mean?
The need to obtain that will was all-consuming. I was sure that if I facilitated Asagi's escape, he would emerge with the will somewhere on his person. But despite searching his body in the cemetery that night, it still eluded me. It never even crossed my mind that it was concealed in the sword's hilt.
I guess you're just stupid. Stupid and stinky.
Okay. I mean, he is, but you don't gotta be personal about it. What pains me now is that my brother left this world without a word to me.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks.
In point of fact, I think perhaps that isn't the case.
Sorry?
How can that be? There's more to his last will and testament.
What?
We didn't turn the page over. What?
Yeah, why didn't I read the rest of it earlier? As I confront the prospect of my demise, I feel bitter regret for my younger brother. Baroque, you have always looked up to me, and now you follow in my footsteps to become a prosecutor. It is my fervent wish that my unspeakable deeds should not hinder your advancement. I ask not for understanding, for none could understand my depravity. I ask only for forgiveness.
Asagi is a fine detective, a hunter worthy of respect. He has agreed to honor my final two wishes. The first is that this document survives. The second, that I cannot commit to paper. I've confessed my sins to my wife. May she find resolution in my death. In my eternal gratitude to my Japanese friend, I rest my quill. Clint Van Zeeks. Clint.
Male Strongheart. You colluded with Seiichiro Jigoku in a criminal plot so immense it spanned the oceans. And you cold-heartedly murdered all those who knew the truth about what happened 10 years ago. But why did you set about that now, a whole decade later?
To ascend to the very peak. Those last 10 years made me realize being the Lord Chief Justice wasn't enough. Short of becoming the Attorney General's, Her Majesty's Attorney General, I could have no real power to effect the changes needed in this country. And for that promotion, I need to ensure no remnants of the past remained. How could you? I like everything to run smoothly, the exact manner I'd prescribe, like a well-oiled machine. And I was just a step away. And for your ambition to succeed, did you even bother to count the number of brilliant people you had killed?
I almost want him to spit out a number. Like, 34. Ah, Mr. Reaper, are you not forgetting something?
Such as?
You've very much adopted your usual prosecutor-like demeanor in the proceedings now. But the reality of the situation is that you are the defendant in this trial.
Ah!
However, the presiding judge would appear to have fallen from the bench, as it were. Ah! May I suggest, therefore, that we entrust the final adjudication to an old friend?
My lord.
A member of the judiciary? I've been following the proceedings from the gallery. I must say, I shall never forget the extraordinary battle between good and evil that I witnessed here today.
Finally, a normal gavel.
Thoughtless that had brought justice in these lands for the past 10 years has at last been dispelled. Thanks in no small part to the efforts of a bright young star from the east. Friends Council Naruto.
Yes, my lord?
On behalf of everyone here present in the Old Bailey, I give you my heartfelt thanks.
You're too kind, my lord.
The first time I faced you in court, just under a year ago now, I had the faintest of intimations that if British justice, so warped and twisted over its long history, was finally to no change, that this might just be the man to do it.
What?
But at the time, I wouldn't allow myself to acknowledge the possibility.
Wrong button.
We show my armband! I couldn't overcome my hatred of the Japanese after the circumstances of my brother's death. I quickly became Japanese phobic. Yeah, I guess it's just that. Yeah. I guess that.
Yeah. It's that whole thing.
Hating Japanese people became my entire personality. It's not of at all. Allow me to apologize for the countless discourtesies on my part. You are a lawyer of boundless talent.
Aw.
Oh, Lord Van Seeks.
When I first arrived in Great Britain, I was literally a nobody. Certainly not a lawyer. The truth is, my fortunes have entirely been made by the miraculous people I've met. My best friend, Kazuma Asugi, who led me here to Britain in the first place. My loyal and ever-patient judicial assistant, Miss Susato, who helped me study to become a lawyer. The brilliant Lord Van Zeeks, who never failed to challenge his Niflunese rival. You don't have to give him credit for that.
And some.
And not to mention, the exceptional master of logic and reasoning who showed me the true art of deduction, Mr. Sholmes. Saving the best for last, Mr. Naruto. What a relief. I'm well aware that without all these people's help and support, I wouldn't be where I am today. The truth is a guiding light that always leads to happiness. I've lived by that principle for a long time now, but actually it's not true. The truth can also cause great pain, sometimes even leave people on the brink of despair.
For that reason, there are those who feel the need to hide the truth, who do it instinctively even.
But as soon as we allow our eyes to settle on something other than the truth, the darkness takes hold. And from there it grows until eventually it makes us blind to the guiding light of the truth altogether. So that's why it's my belief that we must all resolve never to avert our eyes from what is just and true. So that we can continue to walk the straight and narrow path ahead. Well, I must excuse myself now. But before I go, Mr. Naruto, let me compliment you on your grand opus. What? Without your beautifully composed case against Lord Strongheart, Her Majesty would have been unable to act. Thanks to you and your fellows, the haunting undertones corrupting Britain's justice system have been silenced. Thank you very much. So, until our paths cross again somewhere, you're not allowed back into my house. Good day.
Find somewhere else to live, idiot!
Well then. It would appear that this long trial has finally come to an end.
My apologies for any anxiety caused, my lord.
And what sir will tell me again here in this courtroom before long, Prosecutor Barak Van Zeeks. In conclusion of these proceedings, I hereby declare the defendant Barak Van Zeeks.
Man, it hasn't been about
Guilty.
that for a while, huh? Oh god, stop doing this indoors. We already had a fire in here earlier. I guess fire codes haven't been invented yet.
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Objection. 4th November, 4:21 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Sorry, I got possessed for a second there. It really is all over. But did I sacrifice too much?
Mr. Naruto. I really must congratulate you. It was a truly, truly splendid performance. I honestly couldn't be happier for you.
Oh, thank you very much. But I really couldn't have done it without you at my side through it all, Miss Susato. A Naruto always needs a competent woman nearby.
And don't we all? And don't we all? Who among us could say they don't need that? Your kind words mean so much to me.
It really was a very splendid show, that, Naruto. I'd have thought you'd be smiling from ear to ear, but you look rather glum. Well, of course I'm delighted about the verdict. But in exposing the truth, I'm afraid I've caused my client a great deal of pain. I'm really not sure that's what a lawyer ought to be doing.
Well, in that case, I'm quite sure that when you see Lord Van Zeek's smiling face, everything will seem so much better.
Miss Susato? Everything seems worse. He has a face like thunder.
Oh dear, I really shouldn't have presumed. That is not a photo.
Yes?
What's the year it's been now since I first encountered you here in this very courthouse? For you to have risen to the level of excellence you demonstrated today, well, it's quite remarkable.
But I exposed the most unpalatable truth you could have ever imagined in court today. I feel as though I've robbed you of something you held so dear.
What was it he said? To fight those who dwell in the darkness requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves.
Ugh.
But that was just the feeble excuse of a coward. Only those with a steadfast eye for the truth have what it takes to fight the dark forces of crime. You made fine work of establishing that fact in court.
Oh. Well, thank you.
What magnanimous words! I'm quite sure that Kazuma-sama would have a smile on his face at this very moment if he were here.
Kazuma. Damn, they got us with it again.
They really just did it again, huh?
I knew.
Joke's so nice, they had to do it twice.
Miss Susato, there's another face like thunder here.
Oh my, and he really was here. Lord Van Zeeks. Allow me to congratulate you on your acquittal.
I don't suppose you'll let me continue to be your assistant. I feel as though I've been fired.
Congratulate me, or curse me. You failed to bring down the Reaper. I owe you an apology. No, it is I who should apologize. Your father, Genshin. If I had been stronger, then perhaps. I made an unforgivable error of judgment. I can offer no excuse. And I can offer no forgiveness. That said, I suppose you fought for justice and the truth. For that, at least, I can't withhold respect. Your words mean more to me than you could know. I will hold them dear.
Aw.
Kazuma-sama. I must say, there's one thing there's just one more thing.
What's that?
What's that? Oh, as Ryunosuke says, what's that? The will that Lord Quilint Van Zeeks wrote before his duel with my father.
Asugi is a fine detective, and I hunt are worthy of respect. He has agreed to honor my final two wishes. The first is that this document survives. The second, I cannot commit to paper. I have confessed my sins to my wife. May she find resolution in my death. With my eternal gratitude to my Japanese friend, I rest my quill. Clint Van Zieks.
What can the second of his final wishes have been? That your father agreed to honor, you mean? I think perhaps.
Someone said that. I have no idea. Oh, I think perhaps.
Oh.
I might be able to shed some light on that. What?
Father?
It was 10 years ago, as you know, the day before the execution was scheduled. I went to the prison to say my farewells to Genshin. Why aren't you putting up more of a fight, Genshin? If you'd only agree to it, Seishiro and I would gladly petition the government. We've been through this already. You don't need to worry about me. Anyway, Eugene, I have a favor to ask of you. Something of great importance. You're one of my greatest friends, Genshin. Whatever it is, consider it done. I'm going to tell you an address. I need you to go there at once, in secret, and telling no one. You should find a lady of the gentry hiding in there. A lady of the gentry? She's not in a good way, and she's with child. The birth is imminent.
Yeah.
As a medical
Iris
man,
is
I'd
a
like you to
mom.
attend to her. Please, you're her only hope. By any chance, is the child yours, Genshin? Don't be daft. It's a favor that was asked of me by a man I knew, as his dying wish. My goodness.
Clint had a bastard child?
Holy shit. I swore to the man that I would help, that I would do whatever I could for his wife and his unborn child. But if something should happen to me, I need to ask you that same favor. You're the only person I know that I can truly rely on. What did you say? If something should happen to you, tomorrow night you're going to be... You never know, though, do you? What life will bring. All right, then. Tell me the address. I'll head there at once with Seishiro and... No, not with him. Pardon? This is a favor I'm asking of you, and only you, Eugene. Right, I see. Very well, then. That very night, I caught a train from Paddington to Dartmoor in Devon. I found the old house, in the middle of nowhere it was. An old hunting hound lay asleep on the grounds.
Oh, it was just Clint's kid in general.
The poor woman was on the floor at the back of a darkened room. She was in mortal danger. I broke her waters to precipitate the labor before she weakened further, but it was a torturous birth. I did everything humanly possible for her child. So that must have been the Baskerville lady, I guess. And in the end, I was lucky enough to welcome a new life into the world. But tragically, my efforts to save the mother's life were in vain. I held the healthy newborn girl in my arms and wept for longer than I care to remember. Eventually, in something of a daze, I looked around the room. There was precious little in it, but an old travel trunk caught my eye. Yeah, it had clearly been well looked after over the years, made of top-quality leather with fine stitching. But it was when I saw the emblem on the side of it that everything dropped into place. B for Baskerville.
Baskerville?
You mean the woman was the wife of Lord Clint Van Zieks?
Yeah.
That's right. The newborn was his daughter.
What? But that makes no sense. Why on earth would the Clint have entrusted the child to my care in that case? I was completely unaware that he even had a daughter. I've had a niece this
I
whole
suppose
time?
he didn't really have any choice.
What?
Well, your brother said that he'd confessed everything to his wife, so she must have been beside herself with worry for her child. If the true identity of the professor were ever to be made public, the girl would be forever branded as the daughter of the infamous mass murderer.
Ah. So the only solution was to distance the young girl from the Van Zeeks family as much as possible. Are you I'm just waiting for him to be like, are you telling me that you, J. Jonah Jameson, gave my niece to Herlock Sholmes?
It's certainly
and then he
seeming
turns
that
into
way,
a
isn't
flurry
it?
of bats and just kills. Yeah, is exactly what happened.
Fucking turns into bats and flies out the window straight for Buckingham Palace. I'm
Dude,
going
he's
to
gonna
kill that
kill
man.
me. He's gonna kill Mikatoba, and then he's gonna kill Holmes and Sholmes, and like we can't like that. That's completely reasonable.
Yeah, but yeah.
Valid crash out, really. I don't believe it.
I imagine that in this final hour, Lord Clint Van Zeeks made the obvious choice. He would have thought to himself, this Japanese man here is someone I can trust. I honored my promise to Genshin, of course. However, only a month later, I was summoned back to Japan. And without disclosing the parentage of the child, I couldn't obtain permission to take her with me.
Oh, how awful.
I was completely at a loss. In the end, I had to ask my great friend. I asked him if he would be a father to her. That being Mr. Sholmes, I presume. Yes. He took one look into my eyes and agreed to it on the spot. Mr. Sholmes.
And said,
he has a
"You
heart of
fucking
gold."
stupid."
He's like, have you seen me? And he just, like, indicates himself with his hands. Should I be raising a child?
Mikatoba, you know I'm on a lot of drugs, right?
Really, all it can be said that I did for the child was to give her a name. Oh? When I'd come to Britain, I was trying to escape from the grief of losing my darling wife. So it was her name that I gave the little girl. Their wife's name, Professor Mikatoba. In other words...
The name of my mother. Ayame Mikatoba.
Oh.
Is Ayame...
That's right,
Iris?
Ayame. Or in English, Iris. Iris.
I had no idea.
Ding dong. Ouch!
Mr. Naruto, what's wrong?
This little thing
The
just
rabbit?
pinched me on the behind through my trouser pocket. Hard. Ah, my dear fellows, can you hear me? Mr. Sholmes, is that you? Ding dong. Ouch! Yes, we can hear you. You see what excessive tugging can do? Let that be a lesson to you.
Mr. Sholmes, we weren't able to thank you properly before, but you were simply marvelous. Your checkmate move was a stroke of genius.
Indeed it was, wasn't it? I surpassed myself, I feel. It had become apparent to me that to stop the Lord Chief injustice would require such measures. Nice. Subtle.
Injustice, huh?
Bruno, Susie. Oh, Iris. We were just talking about you. Everybody goes, wait a minute. Oh, I'm so pleased. What a wonderful outcome. Her Majesty Queen Vicky said she thought my special blend was delicious. Oh, I'm sure she did. After all, no one brews a more delicious tea than you do, Iris. Let's have a party to celebrate. And Mr. Reaper, you simply must come too. What?
Oh my god. I'm afraid I couldn't.
The Reaper of the Bailey, flustered by a 10-year-old girl. Again. No, really? Oh, pooh.
I give you my word that I shall present myself at your residence in the near future to express my gratitude. Oh, how lovely.
You promise now I won't let you forget. Bye for now, then.
All right, Iris, thank you for all your help earlier.
Oh, that was nothing. Just come back home soon.
Ouch! Ugh, one final pinch goodbye, was it? Why does it ring like a doorbell?
I need to teach my niece how to speak proper English. She doesn't have the family accent.
Stupid.
Well, I think I ought to be leaving. Lord Van Zeeks, would you care to accompany me?
No.
Certainly. Mr. Naruhodo, allow me to once again express my deep gratitude to you. I believe you saved my life.
Wait, Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes?
What are you intending to do now?
I'm going to Disney World. Very well, I shall have to resign. Well, clearly, I shall have to resign from the prosecutor's office. Oh no! I intend to publicize the full truth about the Professor case. Once that's done, the Van Zeeks family will be ostracized completely from London society. Surely not. So as soon as I'm free from my employment, I shall leave the capital.
Oh, I see. Kazuma, maybe? I don't know.
I thought it was gonna be Sholmes, but I guess he's at the palace.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be a fool. Those are the actions of a man once feared as the mighty Reaper of the Bailey. I beg your pardon. More like the Reaper of the Failey. For the past 10 years, you've endured that pseudonym and have been cast as one of the dark forces yourself. Now that you've finally been freed from that disrepute, your battle is just beginning, surely. Well, I certainly never expected to hear those words from your lips. I waited a very long time to come to London. Now I'm here properly. I intend to learn all I can. Anyway, goodbye for now, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Kazuma Asagi. It seems as though he's really matured suddenly.
He's not the only one who's matured, Mr. Naruhodo.
Hmm?
Well, I think we should make our way back to Baker Street. We must help Iris with tonight's dinner.
We must!
And now, how long before we tell her about her real parents? Now that we have this knowledge.
Now that we actually know for sure. It was then that I came to an important decision about my future. 4th November, 6:25 p.m. Sholmes' suite. I'm home. Ah, Jesus! Ah!
Blimey! Fucking killed him, I did!
Fair told me, Gordy. We've been waiting ages, Aldo. What are you doing with that colorful piece of history? It's a party, innit? It's gotta go out with a bang. I mean, fireworks ideally. But when you ain't got fire, smoke's the next best thing, innit? There's a girl on Fresno Street who could help you with that, I think. Right. I'll remember that. You don't have to reload that thing every time I speak. You really must hear this. It's the... Oh. I assure you, I will defy your expectations. Take down every detail now, Mikotoba. Ah, the world-famous great detective regaling his partner with the tale of his adventure. A sight to behold. Would you care to hazard a guess? Where do you suppose the fiendish runaway had concealed himself? Would you believe... inside the trunk I found abandoned in it? He was here for this. I would believe it, yes. I say, Mikotoba, I detect not a hint of surprise. I wonder why that is, Maybe because I was there at the scene as well, Sholmes. What? You were? Then why the deuce didn't you say so before? Not quite the sight I was expecting to behold, but still. It's hard not to feel privileged to see it. Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Professor Mikotoba. I'm finally back from the Bailey. And not a moment too soon. A feast prepared by Iris and Miss Susato awaits. I must say, I haven't seen Susato looking so happy in a very long time.
Oh, Runo, there you are.
I'm a very
Dinner's on
large
the table,
percentage of this
everyone.
room. Is this how you felt in court?
What?
I'm a very
Oh,
large
yes.
percentage. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't register what you meant for a second. I was like, you're not in the room physically taking up space. No, I gotcha.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm really
no, it
imagining
sucks
myself
sometimes.
really big.
I'm
That's me
bigger
getting
now.
bigger.
Whoa! No, yeah, it really stinks when you're just like
Talking to
every
yourself for
fucking
minutes
character.
at a time.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Time to fill me boots.
What?
Oh, I didn't see what it says. You know, it's not something about come eat food. Goodness, is that really true, Gina?
Yep, I'm losing me coppers club and going back to what I know best. It's a diver's life for me. You're really leaving the police force? But why, Ginny?
Well, the boss ain't around no more, so... Oh. Anyway, no matter how hard I try, that Reaper ain't never gonna accept a diver turned dick, is he?
Well, people can change, you know.
Ah, yes, that reminds me. I rather thoughtfully offered to relieve the bailiff of this now defunct piece of evidence. Aye. It's the inspector's pocket watch, and the crown has been reattached. That watch was his pride and joy, a symbol of his great achievements at Scotland Yard. For 10 years without fail, it measured every second of the man's remarkable career.
But now, it's stopped.
Someone needs to keep the memory of Inspector Gregson's career alive by taking on the great responsibility of winding that watch every single day again.
Yes, someone with an equally fierce detective spirit.
It's gotta be me. There ain't no one else.
Quite right.
I mean, after all, the boss was... well, he was my boss. Yes, Ginny, yes he was.
Oh yeah, and I made you a promise and all, didn't I, Iris? That I'll become a proper detective one day and track down your old man. Well, oh.
Alright then, it's decided. I'll do it, and I swear. I'll find your dad and bring him kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
I am not entirely sure that would be appropriate. Yes, I think, Gina, it might be best to, well...
I think I'd like you to forget that promise, Ginny.
Eh? Iris?
Oh, I heard you all talking earlier. Well, obviously I've always wondered about who my real daddy is. Of course I have. I wanted to know where I've come from. I thought it might tell me something about myself. But I've caused such a lot of trouble trying to find out, for so many people. Hurley, Runo, Professor Mickey.
Oh no, not at all, my dear. Really, you owe no apology to anyone.
Well, anyway, I've decided to give up on it. Because I finally realized my daddy is the greatest in the world. I don't think it matters what his name is or where he's from. Don't you agree? Hurley? Aw.
With every word, Iris.
Okay.
Woo! Uncomfortable conversation avoided.
Quickly, pocket cocaine, go!
Thank you,
He just
Daddy.
blasts himself in the face.
I think, Mikotoba... Yes, Sholmes? I think I ought to express my gratitude to you. Oh? For 6 years, you and I solved many a mystery together. And during that time, I remember countless expressions of gratitude for our good services. But a moment ago, I heard the most pleasing expression of gratitude of them all. And I should never have experienced it. Were it not for you. You old softy, Sholmes. But I must confess, it's a weight off my mind to hear you say it. Well then, I think this calls for a lengthy violin recital, wouldn't you say?
Oh well, the food would go cold, that's the only problem. Maybe next week, Hurley.
You sure a week is long enough, Iris? Even amidst the most troubling of cases, even reeling from the most shocking of revelations, returning in the evening to this suite of rooms, there's always warmth and happiness to be had. The home of the world's greatest detective, and my home too, with my greatest family. "4th November, 9:37 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy."
Hey, it's a spade.
Hey, it's a spade. This attic room has been my home and office for almost a year now. I've certainly had some unforgettable experiences whilst I've lived here. But I think now the time has come. Time to bid this place farewell. It's Susato, I'm guessing. Oh no, I guess not.
Oh.
Naruhodo! Oh, Professor!
This time.
Are you alone? I didn't hear any sound from Susato's room. Yes, Susato-san went out after dinner. She took a carriage. Something about an important matter she needed to take care of. Ah, I see. I wanted to thank you for what you did earlier. Oh? With Iris, I mean, when the subject of her father came up. Lord Clint Van Zeeks. I made up my mind many years ago never to tell her who her real father was. It's what was agreed with Genshin, after all. Lord Clint Van Zeeks' final wishes before he died, you mean? Yes, I've had to take some rather drastic steps at times to protect that secret, you know? Calling Susato back to Japan 6 months ago, for example. Huh, that's why? When I read Soseki-san's report about his final days in London, my heart nearly stopped. You'd stumbled across the crux of that terrible case. The dog's collar. The description of the Baskerville insignia left me in no doubt. Baskerville. If you'd decided to investigate that insignia, sooner or later you'd have made the connection to the Van Zeeks. And to make matters worse, Susato knew of the unpublished story as well. The story that Iris had written based on my notes from the time. Ah yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Exactly. It was a work of fiction, but based on the grim reality of a huge beast of a dog being used as a murder weapon. A dog with the Baskerville family emblem around its neck. Armed with those two clues, I feared you and Susato might arrive at the truth. So I invented that story about having collapsed to justify her leaving London and returning to Japan at once.
I knew without her, you would solve nothing.
I knew with her you wouldn't be able to figure out jack and shit. All in aid of halting any investigations you and she might have been contemplating. I see. I'll be honest with you, sir, I wasn't even thinking about it. As soon as the case ended, it left my brain entirely. Something I've never understood is why Susato-san came across that manuscript in Japan, though. You know, Iris' The Hound of the Baskervilles story, I mean? Sholmes sent it to me. That was before Susato left Japan. He was very troubled about what should be done about it, you see. I'd read it and carelessly left it on my desk, which is where Susato came across it, of course. Ah. It was the only case Sholmes and I ever pursued that I didn't record in meticulous detail. I was stunned when I discovered that young Iris had pieced together so much of it from my paltry notes. Sholmes and I discussed the matter and decided that we couldn't allow the story's publication. At that point, I returned the manuscript by post to Sholmes for safekeeping. So you did all that to stop Iris from finding out the truth about her father? That's right, because Sholmes had told me how astute she'd become. However, having witnessed events in court today, I must say my opinion has somewhat shifted. Oh? I think at some point in the future, the time will come for Iris to know the truth. And when it does, well, I believe it will be for the best. I think so too. Actually, Professor, I wanted to talk to you about something too. Judging from that expression, I'd say you've come to a decision, have you? Yes, I have. I will be returning with you to Japan. Are you quite sure? I'm really only here as a substitute for Kazuma. But he's here in Britain now, as originally intended. Locum student Naruhodo doesn't really have a right to stay, I think. I see. Looking back now, when I first arrived here in February... Oh, flashback time. My becoming a lawyer just seemed to be the way things turned out. With Kazuma, Susato-san, and Mr. Sholmes all gently pushing me in that direction. I spent the best part of a year immersed in this world, but always aware of a seed of doubt inside me. Until today. Standing in that courtroom earlier, all doubts vanished from my mind. I was totally focused. I was sure of my belief in my client, and I was sure I could see the trial through. And at the end of it, I finally realized, no one else chose this path for me. I chose it myself. The path of a defense lawyer, eh? Yes, that's what I am now. That's what I'll be going back with you to Japan as. And that's the path I'll be following for the rest of my life. Well, it sounds like you've made up quite a resolution there. I have. Very well then. I must say, it's extremely welcome news. I shall make arrangements for your return first thing tomorrow, but I don't imagine we'll depart for a few days. Not with the symposium having been canceled now. Such a shame. Never mind. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities in the future. Well then, I'll bid you good night. Ah. Oh no, she was snooping. Snooping as usual, I see. Susato-san.
Approach him rapidly and throw him. I just wanted to let you know I'm back.
Did you, hear what your father and I were discussing?
I'm sorry. I did. Yes. I couldn't help but...
Oh, how much did you hear?
Well... From the part about Iris's real father, I think.
Oh, so all of it. In other words, from the beginning.
So you've made up your mind. return to Japan and continue working as a defense lawyer.
Yes, I'm sorry. I really should have consulted you about it. I did want to earlier this evening, actually, but you'd already gone out.
Oh no, that's quite alright. I already knew that it's what you decide, Naruto-san.
That's a lot of contractions. You did?
Me when I'm watching someone about to give birth.
Susato-san?
Ah, yes?
I suppose this means it has to be farewell soon.
I suppose.
You'll be a great help to Kazuma going forward. I mean, I know he's a brilliant lawyer, but he's new to the British courtroom. He'll certainly benefit greatly from having a brilliant judicial assistant at his side.
I'll do my very best.
I wish I could say it, but I just can't. I can't ask her to come with me. After all, she was always supposed to be coming to Britain as Kazuma's assistant.
That's a spade. It's growing late. We should both try to get some sleep. I'm sure you must be exhausted after today.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Before I retire, let me just say one more time. You really were quite splendid in court today. So if you ask me, anyone who thinks of you as a substitute or a locum should be ashamed of themselves.
Even me? Susato-san. Thank you. We're back here again. 7th November, 5:42 a.m., Port of Dover. Quayside. Quayside, actually, that's pronounced key. I know that. I can't believe this day's finally come.
You're really leaving then, Runo?
I'm afraid so, Iris. Thank you so much for everything. I don't know what I'll do without your wonderful cooking and delicious tea.
Oh, I wish you weren't going. But you have to come back and visit. Say you will.
Of course. I promise. Well, it was a very brief reunion, but it was a pleasure to pursue a case with you again after all so long. For a while, at least, it felt like old times. Yes, I suppose on reflection, there's something to be said for it. Having a little fun once in a while.
I'll just go and say goodbye to the professor as well, I think.
All right, Iris, you do that. Honk!
Me when I'm a goose.
Susato-san.
Oh, dialogue.
I've just checked, Naruhodo-san. Your luggage is already on board. Such a beautiful morning. Perfect for embarking on a journey, isn't it?
Before I set off, I'd just like to say how thankful I am for everything you've done for me, and give my warmest regards to Kazuma, please.
Actually,
Oh, I can't do
I
that.
think you ought to give him your regards in person, don't you?
Sorry?
Hello. I've been here the whole time.
Kazuma! What are you doing here?
Do you really think I'd miss my best friend's departure?
Thanks. To be honest, I'd been looking forward to our wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's capital, but,
Then I became a lawyer.
Well, we'll have to save that for another time. Personally, I'm looking forward to facing you in court again.
Me too. But, we're both defense lawyers, so,
I'm going to become a prosecutor. I'll stay in Lord Van
Get
Seek's
fucked.
tutelage for the time being, but before long, I intend to be just as formidable as the Reaper himself.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Ryunosuke, I have a favor to ask.
Name it.
Please take Susato with you. I don't want her.
I
I'd
don't.
like
I
you
don't want her.
to take care of this for me for a while.
Karma?
Karma.
Why?
Karma.
Because I've seen it now. I've seen what's inside me. The demon that reared its ugly head that day. It was only for the briefest of moments. The last time I came face to face with that inspector, but it was unmistakable. I wanted to kill him.
Tried
I've
to. Good thing he
always
blocked.
known there are demons that live inside people. And now I know there is one in me. The fact that it very nearly consumed me is something I'll carry with me until the end of my days. While I devote my life to fighting those whose demons have got the better of them. As a prosecutor,
So, that's what you've resolved to do, is it?
until I'm ready to face the demon within me, to slay it once and for all. I leave this in your care, if you'll take it.
Of course I will. I'll keep it by my side. Always. Until we meet again, then. You have your path to follow, and I have mine.
Naruhodo-san? The path you're going to follow from now on, I wonder if I might follow it at your side, and unless I'd be a burden.
What?
What?
I mean,
Why didn't you bring it up before now? We have to get a whole
would
other boat
very
ticket.
much like you to come with me. But aren't you?
You're so predictable, Ryunosuke.
I am?
Yes.
Honestly, you
Extremely.
never change at all. But that's what I like about you.
You mean you knew about this?
It
You
was
talked
the
to me
evening
about it
after
last
Lord
night,
Van
idiot.
Zwick's trial came to an end. She came to see me at the prosecutor's office.
That's where she went.
Yeah.
Really? Or when I had that conversation with Professor Mikotoba.
So, you'd go with Ryunosuke back to Japan?
Yes, I know it's unfair of me to follow my own interests like this.
Coming here especially to tell me. You're a stickler for etiquette, aren't you?
The way he just rotated.
What are his feelings?
We've
I don't
never
know.
discussed it, of course, and Naruhodo-san has made no such suggestion. I worry that perhaps I'd be a
But I
burden
can
to
read his
him.
mind.
He's just as much of a stickler for etiquette as you are. He'd never say anything before he was asked. But I'd feel happy knowing you were with him. Look out for him on my behalf, will you?
Of course.
Susato-san.
What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
With you by my side, no trial would seem too daunting. So if you're willing, I'd be honored if you'd come with me. Together we can take on the world.
I'm terribly incompetent, but if you'll have me,
Lying.
I'd be delighted.
No.
Oh, no, not at all. If anyone's terribly incompetent, it's me.
Correct.
True.
What's wrong?
Your luggage, Susato-san. There's no time. The ship's going to set sail any minute now.
It's alright.
It's already on
There's
the
no
boat,
need
man.
to worry. As it happens, my luggage is already on board too.
It is?
Of course it is.
Your fine judicial assistant has everything in hand as always, I see.
Honk.
Bruno, your ship's about to leave.
Time to go then. Look after yourself, Ryunosuke.
Kazuma, draw your sword.
What? Why? What?
I'm gonna cut you down. They just have a fucking duel right here and now.
How animated is this going to be? Because I know they stopped doing animated cutscenes after the first one. Because they ran out of budget.
One day, when our paths cross, once more, we'll fight a duel of words across the courtroom. A day I eagerly await as a lawyer.
I've been waiting to hear you say that, partner.
Don't forget me then, Kazuma.
Steven? Well.
Damn, I was really hoping more of that would be automatic.
As if I could.
I've had to piss so bad for like half an hour. I was like, an animated cutscene, perfect.
And Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. I'm very much indebted to you.
Indeed, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you are.
I'll never forget all you've done for me during my time in London.
Quite. I should like to think you will remember your debt of gratitude.
And
Especially
money.
when I visit you in your country. What? The truth is, although many are ignorant of the fact, the world is far smaller than most folk realize.
What?
Well, I'd be delighted if you came to Japan one day.
Oh yes, would welcome you with open arms, Mr. Sholmes.
Somebody might write a book about it.
That sounds wonderful! I can't wait!
Oh, who said you could come?
In that case, let us conclude that this is to be merely a brief parting, my dear fellows.
And that brings us to the end of my adventures in Great Britain.
The end. Honk.
A peculiar twist of fate brought me halfway around the world those many months ago. But that was just the start of my journey. Who knows where fate will lead me next? Still, I'm confident this won't be my last meeting with the friends I've made in London. And when we're together again, no doubt the first words I'll hear will be,
Come, the game is afoot.
Is that credits? Have we done it? Nope.
Friends from the east
Not yet.
sailed steadily towards the distant horizon. But Sholmes' face was alight with joy.
The times may change, but a steadfast friendship will remain true, Wilson. We have but to gently close our eyes, and we are with our companions once more.
So, I do just that.
And when I do, I can hear his strong, familiar voice ring out.
Objection!
There it
Until
is.
we meet again, Runo.
I was like, the game doesn't end until the lawyer says objection. That's how Ice Attorney games are. Ah, that was good shit. Boy howdy, when did we start this? Oh shit. I've been thoroughly inundated with inquiries about my remote cinematograph since that day, but I'm no purveyor of electrical goods, and what of the promised closed-court secrecy? Anyway, I've decided an absence from London is in order, a sojourn in distant climes. The Empire of Japan, perhaps. I understand that wardrobe class incurs no charge whatsoever. You can't... Okay, you can't just hide in a wardrobe.
I think you'll find he can.
Probably, yeah.
I gave a little note to Hurley the other day. It just said, "Thank you for everything, Daddy," but it made Hurley cry. And I gave him some lotion I'd invented as well, to dye his hair red safely. Why? But he said that might make him cry too, so he'd rather not use it.
Let's see if I can find a date in between dialogue I have to read. I feel like it's been at least a year.
In those days, when I was known as the Reaper, I felt your presence at my side. Once, unable to bear the burden of that grim pseudonym, I even retired from the courtroom. Despite everything, I still wear your prosecutor's badge with pride.
Oops.
But the darkness that once beset me is no more, as you too are no more. In other words, of a young foreign friend of mine, I must strive forward toward a brighter future.
June 2024, so not quite a year. Like 9 months. That's reasonable. Baby. It has been 29 episodes. This would be 30.
Boss will have been over me, yo. Another A to Z or something or another. It's clear of a load of stuff. The boss was trying to protect me, see?
She can read the
and
whole
that's
album.
exactly what me and Chief Inspector Toby are gonna keep doing for Londoners.
Thanks, Gina.
I only wish I could have said how grateful I was before he, you know.
But when did we start the first game? Why, that would have been August 2021.
Gina, the truth is, I'm not the upstanding fella you think I am. You might be the dive at heart, but it's a good heart. You reminded me I need to be true to myself. I've got one more job to take care of before it's tar-tar to London for now, for the foreseeable. And then, I've got to complete the education in the art of detection a la Gregson, as they say. Hopefully no one will shoot me.
Hopefully I don't get blasted through the fucking heart. Oh, you again.
Your Excellency, this man is accused of illegal entry into the Office of Ministry of Affairs.
Objection! Oblique office... you were doing him, right? I don't remember.
Yeah,
well, the Scottish Council of Defense, and women are forbidden to enter the courtroom.
Oh, really? My friend Susato-san is the British courtroom all the time and doing a wonderful job. What happened to you? Perhaps I should have engaged the services of a regular legal team.
I'm trying to tell me Sasaki became a lawyer. I don't believe you.
Or an assistant. One of those two things.
Either way. Mama,
I don't remember.
Is it true about Japanese people? They are experts at filleting corpses.
Yes, they are fish corpses on the whole.
I'd like to own my own filleting skills. You don't mind, do you, Mama?
Yes, I do. I'm not a corpse yet, am I?
No. And I'm glad.
Aw.
Character growth.
Growth? More like character growth, because it's scary. Here I am again in Great Britain on the invitation of my dear old university friend. He sent me a very nice letter saying he'd like to show me around now that everything was settled. But what have I done? I was so excited I picked this splendid hotel and now I can't afford the bill. Oh, Barrow, come to my rescue again, please. I wish I could just vanish into thin air sometimes. Ah, nope. Only options are pause. Well, no, we're not going. Oh, hello. French.
When I had to make a wax confession of the kidness empathy, I realized what had happened. But even in the fitness standards the highest court in the land, I could never speak of it. The Lord Chief Justice and I had struck a bargain, you will see. For a faithful reproduction of the visage, there is nothing we two spells for not to.
Thanks. Wait, she's blinking. Wait a minute. You're not allowed to move during the credits part. What's happening?
It's because I'm a magical witch.
It's because I am French. Hey, everyone calls me Gossip. I tell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know. Hey, everyone calls me a Peppino, and I sell the spaghetti. It's more redder than my head.
Hey, everyone, they call me. No, I cannot do it. This is ridiculous.
Oh, Daly, how charming. You've made lots of new friends here, I see.
Yes, and when we're released, we're all going to strike it rich together. Sure, man.
Miss Vigil, you gotta get out of there.
Miss Vigil, you need to divorce this man.
This
I know
man's
none of
not
the
worth
things that
whatever.
happened to him aren't his fault, but like...
He's lost it. I was accepted on foreign stage tour. I knew exactly what path I'd take. However, it might have ended. I knew that I wanted you there to see it. If I ended up in the dock, there's no one I would rather had defending me. But now, thanks to you, there's a new path I want to take. I'm sure we'll meet again in the courtroom, my friend. Until then, I leave Karma in your care.
Surely they wouldn't put any more joke characters after Kazuma, right?
I've made some tea, Naruto-san. It's important that you rest whilst you can. Once we arrive in Japan, you shall be busy establishing your new office. I'm so delighted to be accompanying you. After all, your talents have been recognized by a great detective. My screen share froze.
Oh no. Because you really are the greatest of
Because you
lawyers.
really are the greatest lawyers. A great ace attorney, if you will. Aw, damn it.
Damn it.
It froze right during the fucking great ace attorney line. Fuck you, Discord.
How could you?
You've ruined this for me.
Aw. Oh, hey, Wagahai is there. Cat. Why'd you bring the cat to the dock? It's a cat.
Catch fish. Catch a fish.
All right, I'm gonna call that credits. I think, because I think we're done with the. I think we're done with the other part. Oh, whoop. Hold on. We'll let it play while we talk. That was really good. I think I did like this this duology more than the original
Hi, Susada.
trilogy. I still like the trilogy a lot, but this was maybe it's just because they could only make 2 games. It is really like tight. It didn't feel like there was a lot of like there was no clown case in these 2 games where I was like, what the fuck is this doing here? What's the point?
Hi, Susato again.
Upon replaying this, there's not a part I would go like, I'm skipping this one, you know?
Yeah.
Because I am going to have to play this again to get all the achievements, obviously.
Oh, I see.
I'll do that on my own time, obviously, but... Look at everybody strolling.
Little German boy.
Still going.
Hello, foppish man. I was really hoping he would die somehow.
Nah, he's fine. He just sucks.
The bee people.
The bees.
Bees. Hi, other Soseki.
Brother is posing. Enoch Dlepa. Balloon Man,
I'll be
whose
honest,
name I don't remember.
I forgot about Balloon. I forgot about Italian Balloonman.
Yeah, good stuff. So then, whoa, why's she got a knife's pose? What is he doing?
Now's your chance, Fanzeeks. Kill him. Oh my god, the pores.
Bye, sandwich.
Poor Beppo.
What happened to that guy?
Dead. I'll be honest, Caden was a much smaller character than I ever expected. He essentially showed up to give us a piece of paper.
They gave him a lot of design for how much he did. But you know, I appreciate it. He's a good fucking character design for sure, but nope, bye. Bark, bark.
Toby.
Yeah! They're jamming. That's why he had to disappear so he could jam.
Of course, that makes sense. Hey, Seishiro, you killed people. Got fucked up, man.
Several, at least 2. Thanks for the big claps, man.
Big claps.
I was like, is he gonna show back up, or...? Everybody just sort of politely slides off screen. Capcom. I know they released the Apollo Justice trilogy, quote unquote, and the investigation games, but I do hope he gets Takumi gets to make another like set of Ace Attorney games. He's real good at it.
Yeah.
Bin. All right, we've done it, everybody. The Great Ace Attorney 2 is finally done. And next week, Josh and I have talked, and we're going to start the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out like a couple years ago. I got a Steam achievement. Hooray. Look at them go. Good boys. Good boys.
Good game. I'm excited to not have to be the one playing it. I can just chill.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. We'll catch you tomorrow for the plan right now, as far as I'm aware, is to do more of the God Game tabletop game. But we'll see. Bye.
Bye.